First, I'm going to tell you about this conglomerate that derives from the Carso Group. Carso Group is owned by the Slim family. As you can see, they dabble in a lot of different verticals. But make no mistake, when it comes to IT and telecom, that is still their cash cow out of all these verticals that they're in. Now, drilling a little bit deeper into this conglomerate of Carso Group, you'll see the telecom sector. And the parent company is America Mobile, and all the companies that you see beside them, including Claro Enterprise Solutions, falls under that umbrella. Here's a timeline so you can see how we got to where we're at now. So in 1990, Carlos Slim purchased Telmex. Telmex has been around since about 1947. So they are the ILEC in Mexico, and Carlos Slim acquired them, as well as Telmex USA. Now, Telmex USA has been based out of Miramar for a while, really, you can say, nurturing global enterprise accounts that were sold overseas and had satellite offices here in the United States. But they really didn't have any hunters going for looking for new logos. Now that obviously has changed. In 2000, TracFone Wireless, those of you that are from South Florida have probably seen TracFone. Some of you know him as Obama Phone. That was very popular when he was in office, giving phones to those that qualified for it and for the elderly. America Mobile owns TracFone. And then Telemex expanded internationally and created the mobile business America Mobile. In 2005, we installed our first MPLS POPs and data centers here in the US. 2006 and 2008, the Claro brand, basically resonated in South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. And then in 2010, America Mobile became the parent company of Telemex and Telemex International. Something that happened very important was that in 2013, AMX-1 submarine cable was deployed. And this is basically what connected the US to Latin America and the Caribbean. And now to where we're at today, 2018, Claro Enterprise Solutions was born. Basically, we rebranded Telmex USA to Claro Enterprise Solutions for a couple of reasons. We wanted to really uniform Claro altogether. We have Claro in multiple countries, and we wanted to take best practices from all the countries and uniform them and bring them into one. Secondly, we wanted to basically leverage the success that we've had in all these other countries and bring it to the US marketplace and be able to offer the same type of products. But most importantly for everybody else here is we began the channel. Being in this business for a while, I can tell you I've been asked, if I had $1 for every time they asked me, can you do this in Puerto Rico? Can you do this in the Dominican Republic? Can you do this in Colombia? I'd be a rich man. In the past, I've had to throw it over the fence, hey, call my buddy at level 3. Or even before that, dating myself, cable and wireless. And those guys, maybe they gave you a finder's fee. Not anymore. Now you're coming to the source. We are the most powerful player in Latin America, Caribbean, and soon, we'll get there in the US as well. I became very intrigued by Claro because I traveled pretty much through all Latin America, so I was very familiar with the brand. So when I was job hunting 8 or 9 months ago, and I saw Claro here on LinkedIn, it really caught my attention, and I needed to find out what was going on. And when I found out their reasoning, what they planned to establish here, I said, I'm on board. So I was the first channel manager hired by Claro. We got 7 now spread out through the US, and hopefully we'll be up to 20-something by second quarter of next year in pretty much all the major NFL cities. As you can see, we are a household name. Not here yet, but in other places where we have presence. If you're a Formula One fan, you'll probably see our logos. Soccer matches all the time, as well as tennis. So we're hoping maybe, David Beckham is looking for a logo here in Miami with his soccer team, and we can be there. Who knows? Dolphin Stadium has changed names a million times. We might be next. You can see, we deal with a lot of the Fortune 500 companies, all the big ones, pretty much, that have any presence in Latin America. And a lot of them, we have their satellite offices or what have here in the United States. Here's a little bit of our international footprint. As you can see, we're in 26 countries and growing. We have presence in 47 countries through some resale agreements, and 290,000 miles of fiber optic cable. Again, going back to the AMX subsea cable, you can see how it connects United States with the rest of the locations that Claro has a presence in. Here's the domestic network here in the US, and I don't want to bore you guys with all the technical information, but you can see that we have POPs pretty much in all the major cities down here. Here's our cross-border route, which connects us between us and the mothership, that is Mexico, through Laredo, El Paso, and San Diego. And if you have any questions while I'm going through these slides, please don't hesitate to ask. Because they put a lot of maps here that it's kind of boring me a little bit, but it's all good. Here's more of the domestic network, shows our MPLS backbone, how it's connected between all the cities. More network interconnections. It shows all the NNIs and ENNIs that we have, pretty much with all the players. AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, GTT here in South Florida, Spectrum, and some other markets. And it's funny because I look at this and I see AT&T, I see Verizon. AT&T and Verizon were who we purchased the assets from in Latin America. So when people ask me, in a sentence, who is Claro? I tell them, you've ever heard of AT&T? And they say, yeah, well, we're pretty much the AT&T of Latin America. It's like the quickest way to summarize it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I hope it's a good thing. Here's some financials, and this is something that was just taken from the mobility side. Don't have the whole overall picture of our revenue, but at least on the mobility side, we're at $13.6 billion. As an overall company, America Mobile is getting close to that 12-figure number, which would probably put us somewhere in the top 5 telcos in the world. Outside of AT&T and Verizon, I don't think there'd be anybody from a revenue perspective bigger in the US as a company. So we are that 900-pound gorilla, not here in the US yet. And it tells you here a little bit about our statistics, landlines, pay TV units, which we do in some countries with a triple play, and total access lines. I'm not going to read through our whole mission, but our mission is to ensure that the population of each country in which we operate has access to products and services with the latest telecommunications technology at affordable prices in order to bring people closer together. I mean, we all get that in Latin America, sometimes the infrastructure is not where it needs to be. To be at the same level with the US, we're trying to get everybody on a level playing field, one product at a time, if you will. Not going to talk about our vision, but real quick, to be the fastest growing telecommunications company and preserve our leadership in the telecom industry. If anybody knows Carlos Slim, that's a gentleman that does not like to fail in anything that he does. He's very successful, and I intend that he's going to do everything possible for us to succeed here in the US, obviously with all your help here in the room. Going more into our strategy, I'm not going to read through all this. One of the things that catches my attention is all the way here on the bottom, offering convergent services, ensuring quality to our clients, and optimizing customer care with the best service and increased value added. Bigger, in my opinion, isn't always best. We've all worked with large companies here, I don't have to name them, that their customer service might leave a little bit left, to be desired. We really hang our hat on our customer experience and customer service. It's not lip service. I tell them the proof is in the pudding, so you will find out when you have that first opportunity with us how we take care of these clients. This is some of the affiliates. There's going to be some more rebranding in the future, but it'll show you where Claro is, what countries we're in. Like you can see primarily all over Latin America, now in the United States. Embratel is a huge win for us. They were the ILEC in Brazil. We acquired them. Telmex, that's the mothership. If anybody asks me, where's Ivory Tower? I say it's in Mexico City. And then A1, which was also called Telecom Austria, was our last acquisition that got us into Southeast Europe, pretty much the Balkan countries, if you will. And I can see more acquisitions happening in Europe in the future will take us to other places and maybe in Asia as well, from what I'm hearing. So we want to have global presence, not just Latin America, Caribbean, and the US. We want to be everywhere. So now you know a little bit about who Claro Enterprise Solutions is. I'm going to tell you a little bit what we do. Connectivity services, service integration. All right, most of you guys have probably heard millions of times MPLS is dead, right? I mean, you hear it every day. SD-WAN's a new thing, MPLS is gone. Well, yeah, it's kind of true, but not necessarily in Latin America. That's still the predominant way to connect nodes together. And still in the financial sector here in the US, a lot of people still think MPLS is the way to go. And we're very good at it. SD-WAN is a product that, people has been a buzzword for a couple of years. We have 3 different flavors of SD-WAN. So we either go with, we have Velo, which everybody knows, Viptela, and just recently Nokia Nuage, which gives us basically a flavor for everybody. You can wrap the LTE failover product for like $30 on top of that, and you have a fully redundant product with our connectivity. So it's a pretty interesting play on SD-WAN. Our service ecosystem. Let's go back. Not really going to go over that slide. You guys can take a look at it. Very pretty, get you to Azure, get you to AWS, whatever you need. Technical features on the MPLS. Well, my technical guy, my engineer, who was supposed to be here today, because he's typically the smartest guy in the room. My parents always told me if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong room. But he didn't come today. He had to go do some training certifications. But he can explain this a little bit more than I can. If you all have any questions, technical questions in terms of MPLS or any of these products, please send me an email. I left you my business card there, and I can get them answered for you. Now, talking about our domestic network, you'll see the customer interface that we have, the SLAs, the service management, the remote access. We're really, like I said, leveraging on what we've done in all these other countries and been very successful at it down here in the US now. This is a similar map to what you saw before. It's our topology in the US. We're Juniper based for those hardware fans. Again, talking about SD-WAN. We can do it only not domestically, but internationally. As I mentioned before, MPLS is still the most popular way to connect nodes in Latin America. Latin America usually is a little bit slow to adapt to these things, but the fact that we can offer it now in Latin America is very promising. And some countries are already, adapting to it a lot quicker. Broadband internet access. Now, this is a product that we can only sell domestically. So we're talking about best effort, whether it's coax, AT&T ABF. That we can do in the United States. But unfortunately, internationally, we're not allowed to sell it. Even though it's available, due to different regulations, margins, and things of that nature, we're not allowed to sell it, but we can here in the US. And it could be a good bundle play when you look at our UCAS product down here, for example. Again, I don't want to bore you with all the MPLS stuff. We can connect anything in Latin America through MPLS. We have some of the biggest banks connected with MPLS right now, so it's solid. Ethernet. We're talking about DIA. We basically have DIA anywhere in Latin America and the Caribbean. Very aggressive pricing. You're going to see a lot of resellers, CLECs out there, sometimes at prices a little bit less competitive than us. But you really got to dig in and peel that onion a little bit deeper, because sometimes what they're telling you is DIA is really not DIA. It's some kind of best effort product. So we found that a lot of times, especially lately in Mexico. So if you want that kind of scenario, please let me know so that we can vet the opportunity and dig in a little bit deeper to make sure we are comparing apples to apples. Another product that comes into Ethernet is when we're dealing with what we call carrier Ethernet, point-to-points, also known as private lines. We do that very well. So a lot of companies that want to connect, from the NAP here in America to Equinix in Brazil or Colombia, we're very good at doing that. Here are some of our other services. Cloud solutions, all kinds of cloud solutions. We have one dedicated cloud team that's about 15 people strong. You need anything cloud related, we can do it for you. Please let us know. Wireless services. Now, wireless services is interesting because in all these other countries where Claro is the dominant player, they have their own network, their own spectrum. Claro is the leader in wireless. Now, in the US, we don't have our own network for mobility. We are an MVNO, we're a mobile virtual network operator. With that being said, the biggest one in the world right now at this point, through TracFone, Simple Wireless, and a plethora of different companies that we own. There are some advantages. So when you can call it carrier agnostic like we are when it comes to mobility, you might have a customer that has 4 locations, one here in LA, another one in New York, and one in Chicago, and they want to mix and match. Some people want to be on Verizon, some people want to be on the T-Mobile network. We can do that for you. We can mix and match any of those networks together, give you some very aggressive pricing in mobility, and the best thing on top of that is there's no contract to sign. So we can do it with no contract. Another product that they're coming out with now on mobility is a no roaming product. So if you have the Claro phone, TracFone, and you travel to any market where Claro has presence, there'll be no roaming charges at all. So that works out well for people that travel to Latin America. That's probably going to be developed sometime first, second quarter next year.
Who are your partners down there?
We got the list is long. IoT services. So IoT, whether you want to find out what your what's the refrigeration point on the freezers at your restaurants at any time, or how much petroleum you have in your fuel tanks if you're at a gas station, anything IoT related, we can either customize it for you, or maybe it's already available. These guys are from our business development team in New York. The majority of them are all ex-IBM heads, pretty much all solution architects that basically got into IoT before IoT even existed. So anything that you have that you think might be a solution, bring it to us. They love talking to our agents on a daily basis to come up with creative stuff. A lot of the stuff is off the shelf basically, and it's homegrown through Claro. One that's very close to my heart only because I've worked on a couple of opportunities and it's somewhat standardized already. I'm gonna see if I can show you a video of it. Quick YouTube video of it. See. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, not connected to the internet. Not good. Well, anyhow, it's next generation 911 services. You can go to YouTube, look for car buying, and I'll show you. This service is really saving lives because it's getting first responders out to the people that are injured or whatnot at a record pace time. In underdeveloped countries, this is huge. Right now, I have one opportunity at a country level and another one at a city level. These are opportunities, one of them is well into the 6 figures a month. The other one's about $50,000 a month. But like I said, it's saving time, saving lives, it's giving these people a lot more efficiencies. And it's not only for the public sector. I'm thinking even in the private sector, maybe some insurance companies that, they want to be able to do a claim fast. You have real time, you can take pictures on your phone. Everything is connected through SIM cards. It's just an incredible ecosystem. And I said, I wish I could show it, but I guess I'm not connected to the internet here. So if you guys have a chance, please take a look at that YouTube video, and it'll show you what it is. Car buying, next gen 911 services. Car buying, C-A-R-B-Y-N-E. Now back to the presentation, international solutions. A lot of these, there's overlap. We can offer the same thing here in the US and we can internationally, and vice versa, except for a couple of exceptions, like I mentioned before, broadband being one. Here's our international network and how we're connected across the board. Here's our network and geographical expansion, and it shows you, Embratel in Brazil was a big win for us, and now how we're connected with Europe as well, and hopefully growing leaps and bounds in Europe in the future. multinational corporations. This is basically a nice chart that shows some of our great attributes, if you will. We can be the right choice for your business. One throat to choke, we can do it all. We're a one-stop shop, not only domestically, but internationally. And I'll tell you about a real case example here in a minute. Again, going back to what we hang our hat on, which is customer care. We have International Center for Customer Assistance. It's trilingual, English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Real 24/7, 365. They answer the phone quick. Give them a try. I've always tried this in my other jobs. Hey, call our toll-free number. And believe me, it's burned me, because sometimes it'd be like a 17-minute hold. I already tried it here a couple of times, and it's worked out well. Typically within a minute, you get a live person. Very willing to help, as well as for the U.S. So there'll be one phone number to call internationally and one number to call if it's a domestic-only customer. Why us? Differentiation. Customer-centric approach with an international level. Promise best practices that we've learned along the way for many years being in the business. Excellence in quality and leadership. Support the comprehensive client-oriented team specialized in solution design and development. We got so many teams, even here in Miramar, that I go there and I can't remember everybody's names. It's just, we have an engineer for every single product that you can imagine. And we talk about engineers that are willing to roll up their sleeves and go out with you on appointments and see solution that the customer hasn't even seen for themselves and help you close the deal. Gentleman that worked with me at Winston for a long time just joined us about 3 weeks ago as our sales engineer, and he's phenomenal. So if you guys have that type of scenario, please let me know, and we can definitely bring him to the table. And then delivery, one-stop shop like I mentioned before, with a seamless implementation. Real quick, lines of products, customized solutions, managed services, SD-WAN, pretty much we are like a CLEC. We have everything under the sun. IT services, we also have a contact center. If you guys are looking, company that is looking to look overseas, for their customer service, we can actually do it for you in Dallas. We can do that. We have 7,500 agents that can basically take care of that for you. Unified communications. I wanted to leave this for last. UCAS, everybody knows it, everybody has it. In the United States, we're BroadSoft based, pretty much like everybody else. Nothing special, oohs or ahs. But when we start making some hay in the UCAS world is when you run into that US/Latin American opportunity. This has happened to me not only at Windstream or other UCAS companies I worked, but when somebody says, oh, I got an office in Miami, I have another one in Colombia, another one in Argentina, another one in Brazil, and I want them all on the same hosted system. Well, most companies, oh yeah, I can do that. But they gotta do like some MacGyver job with like FXO equipment, an RCF number forwarding here somewhere, and it typically doesn't work. Not typically, it never works. The quality is pretty as good as fishing wire and Dixie cups. With Claro, it is a truly organic UCAS. Now, this is going to be on a Cisco platform, legacy Cisco platform. Only caveat is, you have to have Cisco endpoints, but typically not a deal killer. Recently, unfortunately, not somebody in the channel, but one of our global enterprise account executives sold a huge international airline company based out of South America, with their second biggest office in Miami, but offices all over Latin America. Just want to put it in perspective for you all. This was 7,000 seats, including their very big call center and DIAs spread out throughout their offices. All in all, it's a $350,000 a month deal. Now, if that was signed by one of you guys here, you probably wouldn't be here. You'd probably be in some private island enjoying the hell out of yourself. But like that opportunity, there's many more out there. So when you run into that and you want something to be organic and not some rig, please let me know, because nobody can do it in the market better than we can.